I've gotten pushback from strangers at parties, like when I'm telling them what I do for a living. I've learned not to say I write horror for children anymore,
Why would
because
you do?
people don't want to hear that. I will tell them I write literature for young people, and I'm like, oftentimes it's spooky, scary mysteries, sometimes involving ghosts. Like, it's vaguer than like the punch of the word horror, which I think some people don't want to hear. Some people don't care, but like I've gotten responses from people that are like, literally somebody said to me, like a stranger said to me, like, oh, that hurts my heart. And I was like, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that somebody said, what I do, when I'm passionate about doing, the stories that I'm passionate about telling, hurts their heart. But you know, to each his own. And you know, I would never say that to somebody, but
You should have said, "How'd you get here today? You must have been in bed just from the moment you turned on the television and saw the state of the world." Like, oh, my heart, no, but I'm.
yeah, your heart must hurt a lot. You know, I don't know. I love kids. I love how strong they are. I love how open they are to noticing the world, and they're noticing everything. And like you said, you have a child, and you know, I'm sure you're seeing like every day is a new experience where like you might learn something that cracks your head open, like, and blows your mind, like something about dinosaurs or something about black holes or something. Like, you're constantly, the world is reframing itself every single day. And I think we don't give kids enough credit for the massive amounts of change that they are going through moment by moment, and processing. And I think, you know, I think if we did understand that, like, nobody would ever say to somebody else that hurts your heart, you know.
Very passive aggressive thing to say.
I just walked away. I walked away. I was like, well, in fact, no, I think I actually said to this person, I said, well, I get a lot of letters from parents and readers, um, and these are the most special things to me, where somebody will say, like, my kid has been, you know, scared to pick up a book because they have a learning disability, or you know, some kind of neurodivergence or whatever, um sort of been discouraged from picking up big challenging books. And like, they're like, they found your book, they now wanted to read it 3 or 4 times, with me, without me, like, they have all these questions for you about like where it's set and all this stuff, and like, now they want to read more books. Now they've discovered that they like reading. I'm like, how could you possibly say that what I've done is harmful? Like, this, I created a reader, like, and not just one. So that was my response. That was my response to somebody sort of being negative towards the genre that I have tended to focus on. And I think that was fair. Is the best that I could do at that moment.
Yeah, the answer they're not going to give you is now you've provoked them to have independent thoughts. I wanted them to think what I wanted them to think.
Oh, and that's the scariest thing for adults. Like, that's scarier than monsters, to have my child think for themselves. And that's why, you know, so the trouble with what's happening in the country in terms of people trying to restrict access to books in libraries and schools and school districts, and even in bookstores anymore, like people suing authors and publishers to not even carry books in bookstores. Like, can we stop, please? It's just
Yeah,
nuts.
that's the adult version of what we were talking about when you're looking for a metaphorical monster that you can tackle.
Oh, for sure.
That if I can't deal with, I don't want to deal with the fact that our system is inexorably broken. How much money goes in from the gun lobby to elect these politicians that get up and tell you global warming isn't real? Oh my God, how could I possibly hope to deal with that? But violent video games, I can find out who made a violent video game and we can hurt their bottom line.
Yeah.
I can't get to all of my existential dread about the fact that I might have told my child some things that weren't correct, but I did the best that I could, and now they have questions that are big on their own. How am I supposed to confront that? But I can confront Dan Poblocki. I can tell him it hurts my heart.
Please don't.
Not saying it's right. I just understand how that spirals and becomes a problem.
No, I got you. Yeah, I hear you.
No, nobody here is endorsing. Do not contact Dan Poblocki. Hurting your heart.
Don't contact me if I've hurt your heart.
Are challenging children to treat to think independently. This is ultimately for their benefit, which means it's for all their benefit.
Yeah. Yep.